So I'm so excited. We actually are doing this because of Shan. We all have Shan to thank. He joined a session that I opened up last week for Xooglers all around the world, literally smaller online sessions from London to Taipei to Sydney to Melbourne, Bangalore, Delhi, um, Austin, Denver, and Shan joined one of the sessions, and we he inspired me to open this up where we should have demos, talks like this. So thank you, Sean, for making this such a useful community for everyone. And I know everyone loved new ones as well as Ed's demos. And here we are over to you now to tell us the latest LLMs.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Actually, yeah, I really appreciate you putting the community together and bringing us all together. So that's really fantastic. Well, so my demo isn't really a demo in many ways. It's a condensed form of a talk I gave. It was an hour-long talk, which I'm gonna try and condense in like maybe 5 or 7 minutes. Let's see how good I can make it happen. So, uh, just sharing my slides. Is that even working? Can you guys see this?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's a tough act to follow after what Ed did with Arta, but in many ways, it's actually the inverse of what he showed, in the sense I'm trying to come up with more bottoms up quant-like strategies rather than a product. So there's not much to demo. But anyway, let's just say, a brief about me. I was at Google from 2006 to 2014-ish, most of the time in Google New York and the last year and a half in Google Bangalore. Subsequently, I built an AI ML company, and then about a year and a half, I exited, and now I'm looking for my next gig. And this is kind of a background research about that. So I'll just jump in and talk about four different things where there's some action going on about how LLMs are being used and built. They are kind of from relatively simpler to more and more sophisticated usage of LLMs, or how the world is thinking. So the first one is just free text analysis. Um, it's like, you see a report, a conference call, or a news article or something, and then you want to figure out basic questions like, was the CEO positive or not, or a summary of the thing, or elaborate on it, and so on, which surprisingly 40% of a fund manager's work is actually on those lines. It doesn't need a lot of reasoning, doesn't need a lot of depth, and it just solves some of these questions for them. This has been ongoing in the world for a long time, even before LLMs came into play. But then when LLMs came in, a lot of folks jumped on it. Probably the most popular one is Bloomberg GPT, which is, if you read the paper, pretty much everything is on those lines, where it's purpose built to answer questions about finance. Um, I don't know where it is now. The Bloomberg GPT paper is almost 2 years old at this point. Um, they haven't updated it. But this is kind of table stakes now. So we can move on and see how we can add a bit more intelligence to this. So financial statement analysis, where you analyze the financial statements, you figure out where the company is going, the more fundamental nature of business, like is the sales improving? Are there any things, like the nuances of finance? And it's a lot of action here. LLMs have been put to use, and a lot of research. They're doing very, very well. So some of the papers around this, I think the paper by Alex Kim, financial statement analysis with large language models, very well written paper, very good approach, very well tested. And it also won the 2024 BlackRock Best Research Paper Award. So, they've done a very good job. And then very recently, OpenAI, along with Index, also announced that they're building an autonomous financial analyst. So they're using a lot of OpenAI, the newer offerings that OpenAI has around research and so on, reasoning models and so on, to build a financial analyst. So a lot of action here. I think this is uh, definitely something that's this area of investing is definitely being impacted very strongly by LLMs. Just to give a brief finding on the paper by Alex Kim, so they found that GPT with chain of thought beats an analyst who is 6 months old in a firm. So that's pretty amazing, right? We're already there where GPT is beating humans. As we go ahead, it's going to become even better and better. Um, and then building on top of this, of course, it's easier after Ed's demo that, yeah, you'll have a agentic framework who will use financial statement analysis as one signal, but also have memory and debate and so on to come to a more and more sophisticated framework for figuring out what decisions to take, which decisions work, which decisions fail, and so on. And also they can be very, very adaptable. So you got crypto in the mix, or you've got political situations in the mix. So you can have specialized agents getting those signals and dealing with those kind of situations as well. Um, I mean, the vision here for firms is to like make it fully agentic. I think we are definitely not there. You definitely need humans in the loop today, but you see a lot of papers around this, right? There's like agents to find quant strategies. There's a whole lot of thing going on here. Surprisingly, all the published papers are mostly from China or from the East broadly. I am not seeing a lot of papers written by folks in the West. I don't know why. Maybe they're just hiding a lot of things. I don't know. But even DeepSeek was built by a hedge fund, so that just puts into context that this is where things are going. So um, it'll be exciting where this goes, but we're gonna see a lot of action here. And then probably the most ambitious aspect is AI powered VC altogether. And this is ultra ambitious because VC has a lot of human touch. They bring a lot of things to the table, which is not just about quantitatively analyzing an investment, but they have to make this kind of a call where what's the founder background? Do you trust the person or not? Or where is the world going? Is this going to evolve or not? And it seems like impossible for an LLM to do this, and yet there is a lot of action going on here as well. So I think the most active we see in this is the one you see on the right side, Vela Partners. They've published a lot of papers. To be honest, I won't say all the papers have a lot of depth, but they are doing a lot of things here. So, and they've split the thing into, searching for startups and enriching and analyzing and making a investment and so on. There's also a survey by this company called Data Driven VC. It's probably just an organization. And surprisingly, right now, already 12% of VCs, they're saying that their job's gonna basically be taken over by quant VC, which is a huge number. It's just amazing that 12% already believe it's going to be quant going ahead. And they're putting the money behind it, and they're putting the efforts behind it. So, so yeah, so that's the lay of the land. And then my summary is that if you believe in AI, I think investing is a game, um, in some ways, and ML and AI techniques have always beaten humans over time in all the games. So be it chess, Go, or whatever you name. So that's this is the believers crowd, right? They believe that trading is a game. The AI and ML techniques will get there, and they'll just beat it. Um, the other side, people think like we're still very much in the early days. There's still hallucination. We still cannot explain how LLMs work and so on. So we don't know where things are gonna go, and it's still very much a human driven endeavor, not really an LLM based thing. So I'm still exploring. I'm not taking sides, but I think it's an interesting time to live in. I don't really have a demo. It's super lame. I don't think I should even share the demo, but just because I have it, let me give you a 1 minute brief on. Um, so this is a popular website in the Indian stock markets. I've interacted with the founders a few times, so they do generate some kind of uh, very lame prediction for like, so this is E2E networks. It's generated by the pros and cons are generated by machine. They're saying it will give a good quarter. This can definitely be made better. Like, I've cached the results, so it's not super slow, but you can say that, look, hey, you can have the LLM reason things out and all. Like I said, the demo doesn't matter much. It's what the reasoning behind the screen that matters. So don't read too much in the demo. But yeah, I just wanted to say that it's possible. This is where the world is, and it's gonna go in many many different directions. It'll be super interesting. That's for me. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Shan. Who was the first question? Not I'll go first. Regarding Vela Partners, how did you first see them? And I think you mentioned there's volume, but you wanted them to have more depth. Is that correct?
Yes, compared to what they were, but I also agree that they're just getting started, and it's a very tough problem to solve. So I appreciate them for doing as much as they're doing, for sure. Cool. Like,
You were saying that you were doing a startup, you sold it, you're looking at next thing now. Anything in particular you're most excited about to do, Shan?
no, I think the application of AI or ML in such fields would definitely be super valuable. And so yeah, I'm exploring more fields like this, including this one. Like, this one is definitely where I'm putting a lot of effort right now.
I have a question.
Yes, Daniel.
Um, so shops like Renaissance, a lot of the high frequency, they look at patterns of
Yeah.
prices. So a simple one might be if a stock goes up 2 days in a row, the likelihood of it going up the next day's higher, momentum, things like that. So they've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
How would people like use LLM or pattern recognition and do it ourselves? Like, would it be possible, or like where would we start if we wanted to look at things like that?
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question. Especially momentum and price-based momentum is a big factor. In my longer talk, which I gave earlier, actually, I had LLMs as one of the key inputs for this as well. But I mean, so I don't know how the future unfolds, but maybe DeepSeek is going to be the next Renaissance for all you know. And it could happen, is what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
don't.
So, but what I'm saying is like, how would like someone like myself look into it? Like, not, you know, like it's possible, but like, how would I can't just put into ChatGPT and say analyze XYZ, right? I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that I
Yeah.
need we learn, and
No, I agree. I think there's a like the first step is always, collecting the data, having some evals in place, and
hmm,
uh, see how well you can do. And then, in one of the slides, like I said, I think the idea is not to build an absolutely best system, but the idea is to just beat humans. And if you can beat humans, probably you'll make money. That's broadly the idea. That's kind of where the alpha lies. That's the
hmm.
thought process, but yeah, we'll have to see. I think there are ways to find factors beyond price signals also, which maybe the LLMs can find for you. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like meta, like, one of the bots is, instead of actually trying to trade, it's just trying to figure out the next best strategy for you. And a lot of that stuff can actually be done by LLMs, especially the reasoning LLMs,
What do
given
you
the
mean by next best strategy? Like
so
finding.
the way
Hmm,
quant strategies work is that most of them are already known, and then you use one of them, and then maybe it works for some time, but then that alpha gets competed away because now everybody's jumping on it. And
Mm.
so it's like, can take a dumb example of like meme stocks. Like it was a great strategy for a while, and you could ride the wave, but then of course, you have to change the strategy because it cannot go on forever.
Sure.
So what is the next strategy? And a reasoning-based LLM may potentially come up with a better answer than you. So there are a lot of things people are thinking about in that way. Um, it doesn't it doesn't have to be that the LLM trades for you. The LLM could just come up with better and better strategies.
I see. Right. Cool.
Yeah, I see a hand raised by Shri. Go ahead.
Yeah, Shan, so just to build on this, right? Because I mean, I do a little bit of technical analysis, and what I'm noticing is a lot of these charting tools like TradingView and a lot of your brokers, like interactive brokers, are actually integrating LLMs. So many a times, like when you try and buy a stock, they do a quick and dirty version of fundamental analysis. I
Yeah.
mean, again, it's still early days for me. I really need to look into this further. But do you know of any existing tools that do a good job based on your experience on for technical analysis?
No, to be honest, haven't been looking too much. I think if you want to do technical analysis purely based on price, I would say go with time series based models. So these are LLMs which are trained on numbers instead of text. So, even Google has one, IBM has one, and there are a few others. You can look up Time GPT and few others. And
Mhm.
they have a very, very long context, like an insanely long context because they are optimized for that. And then they learn the patterns from prices better than existing statistical models. At least that's the claim as of now. So yeah, there are a few. I think definitely Time GPT stands out, but yeah, Google has one as well. Those would be my guess. There's still like, they're gonna be a bit slow if you're doing high frequency trading. They're definitely not the way to go. But yeah, they're getting there.
Right. Thanks. Yes. Yeah, I need to look into this further. But yeah, Time GPT is a good start.
Right. I think Nixla, IBM, and Google, I think, are the forerunners in time series based LLMs, and they're all claiming state of the art in their own ways.
Great. Maybe Shani can drop your LinkedIn or email below, and you can
Yes, I will. Thank
facilitate
you.
directly. I'm just going to do a quick screen share myself. Thank you for all the speakers for doing this. This is awesome to get everyone to share what they're working on and get feedback and everything else. And so, for those who have not joined Xoogler.key.ai, this is what we've been building for a few months. A membership directory. Everyone has always been asking for years, literally, about how to contact people, what their backgrounds are, and where they are. So that's something that you may want to check out when you're on Xoogler.key.ai. And the channels, you may see that we've had Slack for the longest time. The biggest challenge is since we're on the free version of Slack, because it costs about $7.50 per person per month, um, history goes away. And you can't really see who people are and what everyone is working on. So that's where we also have been able to build this, where people can introduce themselves, and we're able to see their backgrounds and sort of see any particular topic from retail trading investments to product management to crypto to location based, and find people there. There's also calendars, events, tabs, and everything that you can go chat to everyone about. And so, no, that's what I want to wrap up with. As you can see, you can go to the calendar. There's different events that you can actually go all around the world. A little dot there. Xoogler Talks, there's mixes, there's coffee chats, there's kickoffs, fractional panels happening next week, personal finance meetups. So that's my last slide I want to show. And just let me know whether you want to see more of these sessions all around the world. Is this the right time? Is it the wrong time? How you want these changed? This is your community, not mine. So anything you want to do or try to lead, you're more than welcome to. And thank you for Sal for leading the Xoogler community over in London and joining here today, and everyone for participating and also presenting. Any final questions or comments anyone wants to bring up before we sign off? Why couldn't I see my channels? I think, Min, you need to go to browse and add yourself to, but happy to help you offline. Essentially, you can add all different channels you're most interested in. They're not all default channels. But again, once again, Shan, Ed, as well as our first two speakers, they've logged off already. Thank you for presenting and teaching so much to all of us, and everyone have a good weekend.
Thanks, Chris. This was wonderful.
Thank you.